Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'm doing the 2024 election prediction between Florida Governor Ron Desantis and current President of the United States, Democrat Joe Biden. So, I have long said that I believe Ron DeSantis is the best Republican candidate for 2024 because Ron DeSantis is close enough with President Trump where he gets a lot of President Trump voters, but he also has his own appeal where a lot of Republicans nationwide like Ron DeSantis. So I don't think he necessarily has to rely on President Trump to get a lot of support and movement out. And a lot of his policies in terms of opening up Florida have become very, very popular. So Ron DeSantis, will probably get a lot of suburban and rural voters and maybe even some city voters who didn't turn out for President Trump. He might get some of that as well. So I think Ron DeSantis has a more broad range of support than President Trump does. And at the end of the day, Ron DeSantis is also way less more divisive and polarizing with, say, his persona and how he talks. And I think that would benefit him and the Republicans nationwide in 2024. So with that said, now let's get into the prediction. I think Joe Biden will win the West Coast, as he would. I think Colorado would still go safe because I don't think the Republican Party nationwide is putting much of an effort into that state. Illinois, I think, would still go safe. Most of the East Coast states would still go safe for Joe Biden. And I think Maine's 1st district would go safe. I could see Maine at large maybe being likely, but I'm going to put in safe for now just to make it easier because I really don't see the Republicans putting too much of a play in Maine. New York would be safe. The state of Virginia, I think Joe Biden has a very big appeal in Virginia, so I think the Democrats, pretty much any Democrat, would win Virginia safe. The Republicans aren't contesting that state too much. So Biden's at 205. Ron DeSantis now, he'll win a lot of the states in the Republican L. He'll win Nebraska at large. Nebraska's second, we'll come back to. Ron DeSantis will win a lot of these states. And now, Ron DeSantis sits at 124. Biden sits at 205. So, first things first is I think Joe Biden will win the state of New Mexico likely. This is actually pretty good for Ron DeSantis, who, in my President Trump versus Joe Biden video, I actually had Joe Biden winning New Mexico safe. So Ron DeSantis is already improving on the state margins there. I think Joe Biden would also win Minnesota likely as well. I just think the Republicans didn't put much of an effort in 2016. They almost won the state. They put more of an effort in 2020, and they did even worse. So I think the Republicans nationwide are going to not target Minnesota too much in 2024. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they will, but it doesn't really look like they're going to. Ron DeSantis, I think, would win Iowa and Ohio, probably safe to likely for now. I'm tempted to, I don't know if it would be safe, but maybe safe, maybe likely. I'll put it in likely for now, but it's borderline likely to safe. So, DeSantis at 147, Biden at 219. This is where DeSantis makes up the margin. He would win the state of Texas. Either lean or likely. I think probably likely, honestly. Likely being like 6 points or 7 points. I think DeSantis would win it. I think DeSantis would do better in Texas than Trump will because Trump's a lot more polarizing. And I think DeSantis will be able to win a lot more suburban voters that even in Texas will see definite dividends for Ron DeSantis. Now, I think Joe Biden would still win the state of Nevada. I'd put it in the tilt column. I think Nevada is going to be that state that everyone's like, whoa, how did Nevada get so close? So I think Joe Biden would still win the state of Nevada. I think Ron DeSantis would definitely win the state of Florida. I'm going to give it a lean margin because I think that what President Trump won it by in 2020, which is about 3 points or so. I think it was 3 points. Yeah, about 3% or so. I think that's honestly about right. Despite the fact that Ron DeSantis is from Florida and he's very popular, it's still a nationwide election and Florida will always be close. So I think Florida going 3-4 points for Ron DeSantis is honestly very, very fair, especially with Joe Biden on the ticket and not, say, Kamala Harris or something. So DeSantis sits at 219, Biden sits at 225. I think Ron DeSantis will win the state of North Carolina in the lean column. I think Ron DeSantis appeals to the state of North Carolina and a lot of the suburban voters much better than President Trump does. So DeSantis sits at 235, Biden sits at 225. The state of New Hampshire, although I do think Ron DeSantis is a much better candidate for New Hampshire than Donald Trump, I think Biden still wins New Hampshire in the lean column. New Hampshire is a state that is Democratic leaning, but they say they're independent-minded. What that means is New Hampshire will occasionally buck the trend and vote for a Republican, but they have a Republican governor who might run for Senate, who I think would be a very good candidate for the Republicans, but I don't think at the national level we're going to see New Hampshire going Republican for a very long time. And I think this was kind of evidence that President Trump, the highest percentage he got out of 2016 and 2020 was he got 46%. And you're not going to win with 46%. Maybe if Ron Desantis can get up to 47 or 48, that would still be good. But with the third-party candidates, I don't think there would be that big third-party candidates in 2024 if it's DeSantis versus Biden. So I think Biden would still be able to hold on to New Hampshire, probably in a 3 to 4% win, but still closer. But I think Biden would still win. So 229 to 235. I do think Joe Biden would still hold on to the state of Michigan, probably in a lean to tilt margin. I'm going to say it's 2 points or so, so I'm going to put it in lean. I think 2016 Michigan going red may have been a fluke. I think that Michigan is a state the Democrats put no effort in 2016. And in 2020, they actually put effort into it and they voted for Joe Biden over Donald Trump by 3 points. So I think Ron DeSantis may improve on that, maybe like 2.8%, 2.7%. However, I do not see Michigan flipping back for Ron DeSantis. I do, however, see the state of Georgia flipping back for Ron DeSantis, though. Georgia is a state where a Republican can still win nationwide, and it may very well flip back in 2024. And I also had Donald Trump narrowly flipping back Georgia. I kind of went back and forth on it. I almost gave it to Joe Biden again. But I think that all of the boycotts and stuff we're seeing of Georgia actually will benefit Republicans come 2024. And I think doing so, I honestly think will affect how Georgia votes. And I think that Ron DeSantis will win more of the suburban vote, and he'll be able to flip back Georgia. Now, I also think that Nebraska's 2nd District will also flip back to Ron DeSantis. I think Ron DeSantis will win Nebraska's 2nd. However, I'm actually going to go on a hot take and give Maine's 2nd District to Joe Biden. I think only President Trump really wins that district, to be honest, against Joe Biden. I don't know if Ron DeSantis will be able to do that. So I'm going to give Maine 2nd to Joe Biden for now. But that's one that DeSantis could make close, but I'm not too sure. Biden 245, DeSantis 252. I see Ron DeSantis coming in and winning the state of Wisconsin. My reasoning for this is, again, it all comes down to the suburban voters. Ron DeSantis will be able to win more of the suburban voters that President Trump was not able to. Wisconsin is the most Republican of the Rust Belt states, and I could very well see Ron DeSantis winning the state of Wisconsin and flipping this state back for the Republicans. Now, Pennsylvania is really, really close. I'm very tempted to give it to Ron DeSantis. I won't lie, I am. But Joe Biden also being from Pennsylvania does help. So I'm tempted to give it to Biden. I'm tempted to give it to DeSantis. It's tough. It really is tough. I think I'm going to give it to Joe Biden for now. Very, very close. 264. But it is very, very close. Very, very tough to call. But I will give Pennsylvania to Joe Biden at this time. Hot take, I am giving Arizona to Ron DeSantis, though. Arizona is a state that, similar to Georgia, flipped in 2020 and may flip back in 2024 if the Republican candidate is not Donald Trump. And I think Ron DeSantis, honestly, could get a lot of those suburban voters who flipped for Joe Biden, but voted down ticket Republican for like a House race. I could see Ron DeSantis getting some of those voters back. And Republican Ron DeSantis would beat Joe Biden 274, 264. I think unless Joe Biden absolutely collapses in terms of popularity, I don't see any Republican beating Biden in a blowout. I mean, Ron DeSantis, I have him winning, but he only wins 274 to 264. This is very, very close. I think Joe Biden would still probably win the popular vote by 1 million or 2 million votes or so. Probably a smaller margin than 2020, but it would still, Biden would still probably get more votes, but this would be a very, very close election. And I think this is if the Republicans want to win in 2024, I still think Ron DeSantis should be the nominee. But that's just my opinion. Leave a comment below telling me what you think of this election and of the election prediction and your thoughts on 2024 and who the Republicans should nominate. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel, tap the bell icon so you get notified when I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.